Hi and welcome to High on Coding. I'm your host Mohammad Azam, and this screencast is about a small project, the personal project that I'm working on. And basically, the main idea of this particular project is to learn about domain-driven design, learn about source control management, learn about stories, uh, basically agile techniques, and also to learn about behavior driven development, build automation, and all the good stuff. So this is called EStudy solution. I can of course see that there is a spelling mistake, but anyway, there are a couple of projects. Now what the project is about is basically students, university students or school students or any kind of students, they can go online or they can go to this particular application and take the exam. It can be a multiple choice questions, like you will have one question that have like 4 or 5 choices, one of them is correct, things like that. Teachers should be able to go to this particular application and create an exam, so they can create exam using a text file, and then they can upload the exam and basically give the exam to the students so the students can take it. At the end, students can, when the students are finished taking the exam, they can you know uh, see their scores and graphs and how they did and things like that. This is going to be using ASP.NET MVC framework. I have a couple of projects over here. I'm not going to go into detail. There's a lot of code already implemented. um, I have already implemented. So there's a domain model class, then there's a domain test, which tests the domain. And if I just go into, well, one of the tests, you will see that I'm kind of like using a behavior driven development way to drive my test, and my tests are reading as sentences. When adding role to user, should not add duplicate role. When adding role to user, should add multiple roles. So things like that. Also, I have a repository test. The main reason for domain test assembly to be separated from the repository test is that I can execute it using different user agent in a team or different build environment, basically, because the repository test will be touching the database and my domain test won't be touching the database. The I haven't really started with this web UI. I'm working on the registration part, which is the first part. There are a couple of agile tools that I will be using. Right now I'm using NUnit. I'm using structure map for dependency injection. If you haven't checked out the video on High on Coding about structure map, I highly recommend that you do so. If you want to download this project right now, then let me go to GitHub, and I will post a link over on the show notes that will tell you that where you can download it. And so let me go over here. So this is the URL, but of course I'm going to post it, and currently it will compile, it will it will run, but it doesn't really have anything right now. I'm working on the registration page, and you will see the updates, hopefully regular updates. This is not kind of a project that I'm saying, okay, this is the way to do it. That's not the main purpose of creating this pet project. The main purpose of this project is that I can learn with you. I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to learn stuff. Maybe this is all wrong. If you do think so, that you can comment on High on Coding, and you can let me know that, hey, you're doing it all wrong, you have to do it this way in this. And if you do advise, it's a good thing, because then we can learn as together as a whole unit. Okay, so if you are curious, you can download the project. I'm going to include it in the show notes, that how you can download the project or where you can download the project. I think my next video will be about how you can create your own project on GitHub, or how to download a project from GitHub. It took me some time to get familiar with GitHub, although it's very simple, but it took some time to create a project and push the project using Git, which is a source control management tool. And that's pretty much it. So I'm very excited about this project, and I assume that you're also excited, because we're going to learn many different things in this project. using agile techniques. Thank you very much and stay tuned.